What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Aries here in the building with another video. Now this one is a little different. Well, actually it's a response video to PK's, I think it's called can you build a PS2 collection on $100? And I thought, well shit, I can definitely do that response. So to not waste any more time, let's get into it. So I'm gonna start this list off right. Alright, so when I was trying to put this shit together, I was looking at the collection of games that I have. I don't have a huge collection, but it's big enough where I was able to get games that I grew up with and have them with me, which is pretty much the main goal. I have a lot of useless games that I plan on getting rid of, but for the most part, there are a lot of games in my collection that I have that I had growing up or played and simply loved. So this game right here was an easy pick, and that is Tony Hawk's Underground. This game revolutionized Tony Hawk games for years to come. I think what really got me interested in this game, aside from the simple formula of just doing crazy tricks on half pipes, grinding on top of buildings and stuff like that, was the fact that you were able to customize your characters. And I think that's the most important part when it comes to games, is that I'm able to create a character, because in some way or another, I feel like I'm making that character an extension of myself. Like, I'm being part of this world. I'm doing like these crazy stunts. I'm going on a quest and stuff like that. You know, kind of takes you out of reality and puts you into another world. Now, what I got coming up next are two sports titles, and I know what you're thinking, like, sports, bro, come on, like, nobody gives a shit about those, and I understand, I feel you. I'm not really a sports guy myself. I don't even have a favorite football team. People look at me like I'm fucking weird because I say that, but when it comes to sports games, like ones that are most important and the most fun and the ones that I personally always seek out are arcade style type games. And these two right here are the ones that got me through a lot in life, okay? There are stepping stones when it comes to the PS2 for me. And the first one I'm gonna show is NBA Streets, baby. I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, you just play basketball. True, but in NBA Jam as well, you were able to just play fucking basketball. This has the same type of character and charm as NBA Jams, in my personal opinion. EA Big was able to put out some great sports titles for the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. But what they did with the NBA series is just fucking amazing, because I think it even spawned off to what? NFL Streets, to FIFA Street. I mean, this game is the fucking, what do you call it? Is the forefather of arcade sports style games, I guess, for the PS2 or for the new generation. I would put it on a Mount Rushmore of fucking sports games. Now I know NBA Streets Volume 2 is a far better game. The graphics look better, the soundtrack is fucking dope, but this one right here, man, you can't sleep on it, and for the price, it's fucking worth it. And the next game on the list is super fun, super important, and a game that I first got when I got my PS2 back in the day for Christmas. And that is Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2. Now, there ain't much to say, right? It's just boxing. You just beat the shit out of each other. Whoever gets knocked out wins. Like, that's the fun of it. But just like NBA Streets, this one has a lot of charm. The characters are like fucking colorful. They're out there. You even get to play, believe it or not, as fucking Michael Jackson, bro. And a robot. Like, what other game do you get to play with Michael Jackson and a robot? Huh, that's right, I forgot about that one. Of course, I had to put a platformer / adventure type game on here. Why? Because the PS2 is known for great platformers, right? Like Ratchet and Clank, Sly Fox, and shit like that. But one series of games I never really got into, but I did play the first one and I absolutely loved it, and I owned it back in the day. And that was Jak and Daxter. This series right here, man, really opened my eyes to like how great platformers could be in 3D. Like, I know it's kind of like, well, haven't you ever played Super Mario 64 or Banjo-Kazooie? Yeah, but for some reason to me, it was different playing platformer games on a new generation, you know, because the new generation was set to like be a lot of shooting games, fighting games and stuff like that. That's how a lot of it was sold. So when you've seen these type of games, they were always known as kid games for some reason. I never got that. People in school will fuck with me because I say I like Jak and Daxter or Spyro or Crash or whatever. And it's kind of like, bro, when the fuck did this even be a thing? A kid's game? Come on, bro. Fucking the only thing I could say was like, yeah, well, your mom's a kid's game. Of course, you have to put a racing game when it comes to a collection because PS2 was known for some great racers like Gran Turismo, Need for Speed, Midnight Club. But this series right here, I don't think it was specific to PS2, but it was one that really got me intrigued in the series. I know there was 2 before it, but this one, Burnout 3, was the one that got me into the series. I didn't play the other 2, and all the other ones after it, I think, is Burnout Revenge, I think is the one after this one. But man, after I played 3, after I rented it, I was just like, dude, where the fuck have these games been all my life? My favorite part about this is not only the racing and the crashing, but the fucking slow motion. Like, you see the destruction, the devastation that you caused by hitting a fucking, like, an obstacle or a car, or like ramming into an enemy and seeing them flip over. So much satisfaction in this game. I fucking love it. And just like the racing genre, you have to have your boom boom pow pow kaboom type games, right? The first person and third person shooters. Like, there are so many to choose, it's really hard to go off which one was the most impactful. And I think the one that gave me the better experience, like nonsensical action, which I'm a huge fan of. And I thought, okay, Call of Duty is cool, it has a great campaign, but I don't know. And then I thought, oh, wait, there's one fucking game that just destroys like every other fucking first-person shooter out there for the PS2, and that is Black. I know this is the Xbox version, but I'm going to count it as a PS2 game. But man, this game is just nonsensical action. Action at its finest. I honestly can't tell you what the fucking game is about. I just know in each mission, you gotta go and fucking, like, destroy, fucking kill the enemy, make sure that you collect your intel, make sure you get out of there safe and you don't die. Like, that's all that really matters. And if you look at the back, and when I was a kid and I was seeing this, I was like, dude, this is all I care for. If you haven't played it yet, play Black. I'm telling you, it's gonna quench your action thirst. And of course, since we're on the topic of shooters, there's another one that is just beautiful and my favorite. I remember renting it one weekend and thinking, I want to buy it. And that is Star Wars Battlefront 2. Super fucking engaging. Like, I didn't really grow up with the Star Wars movies. I watched them, but this one really got me into the franchise. I was just like, dude, if there's action like this in the game, I gotta watch the movies. And pretty much this game is what got me into Star Wars. Rockstar Games was a very important ally for the PlayStation because so many great games came out there, and I'm pretty sure a lot of units that were sold for the PlayStation were due to games from Rockstar, especially the GTA series. Now, I would be lying if I said I didn't love those games, because those 3 games in particular, the story mode was just fucking fantastic, and I feel like I had to put one of those in my collection. So I thought, which one do I put? 3 was good, Vice City was fucking fantastic, but San Andreas just did everything right, because that is the peak of Grand Theft Auto games. Now, there's not much to explain here, right? It's fucking Grand Theft Auto. You shoot, kill, steal cars, pass missions, try to take over territories. It's GTA, but it's one that I had to have in my collection. So I was looking at my collection so far and I was like, something is missing. I'm not exactly sure what. So I thought about it for a little bit. I was like, oh, hey, fucking a fighting game. Initially, Mortal Kombat came to mind, specifically Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. And so I thought Tekken was cool. Virtua Fighter was alright. And then I thought, oh, dude, like, I rented this game, and I rented it and then I bought it because of how much I enjoyed it. And that was Soul Calibur 2. I mean, this game has a lot of memories for me. Me and my little sister would always fucking play video games. Well, she mostly got into video games because of me. But, like, this was one of the games, aside from Mario Kart Double Dash, that we would play all the fucking time. The box art, dude, is just that blue with that gold or yellow or whatever, like, just... it just draws you in. I think that was the reason why I rented it. And then I looked in the back, and then I seen the fighting styles, how these characters look, and I was like, then seen a chick right here in like a fucking leotard, and I was like, huh. Funny enough, like there was a character in here, I forgot his fucking name, but he's like a mummy type character, and for some reason he kind of creeped me out a bit. I don't know his name, but yeah, that's my embarrassing story. So last but certainly not least is a game that has changed my life forever. It certainly has stood the test of time, and that is the God of War. Looking at this case, you know damn well what you're gonna get into, right? You're gonna get into some serious ass kickage. Looking at the back cover, you see Kratos like going face to face with these fucking monsters that are like 50 times his size, and that's what really drew me in aside from the front. And I was just like, oh man, I really gotta have it. I'll tell you a quick story of how this game came in my possession. Woo! So this is a time before GameStop decided to fucking eliminate other game retailers and decided to be the only store to get your games. This was around Christmas time, so you know the mall was kind of packed, and my mom went there specifically to get my sister's gifts. So of course I didn't want to follow her into some stores and be like, okay, boring. So she went into this one store, I can't quite remember, but right across was an EB Games. So I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I'm going there. So I told my mom, hey, I'm gonna go over there. If you need me, I'm gonna be over there. She's like, all right, just, you know, don't go nowhere else, just stay there. And I was like, where else am I gonna go? It's a fucking game store. So I walked in and there was like a bunch of these like on the shelves, right? And I was just like, oh, what is that? Because what drew me in was Kratos with the fucking blades. So I'm like, oh, what is that? So I walked up to it, I started examining it, like, interesting, yes. I seen the rated M and I was like, I couldn't buy this myself, obviously. So I was thinking, I'll probably ask my mom. Hopefully she comes into the store to see if I'm ready, or she don't just call me from outside, because then I have to walk over there. And by then I'm not even gonna ask her. So I was just sitting there like making sure, keeping this in mind that the game was there. So I'm walking around the store just waiting for my mom to be done so I can finally ask her. You know, she does come into the store. She asked me, hey, you ready to go? I was like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, hey mom, I know Christmas is like, you know, like a few weeks away, and I don't know if you got gifts for me, but if you didn't, I would like really like if you got me this game. Like, you don't have to give me anything else, you know, some shit that teenagers, kids, children say to their parents to try to seal the deal. Like, you don't have to give me nothing else. Like, that's a damn lie. But you know, I gave my mom that spiel, and then she was like, yeah, sure, yeah, I'll get you the game, yeah, that's a good idea. And I was like, yes. You know, so we're walking up to the cash register, we're getting closer, and I'm just thinking, Christmas break is coming up, I'm about to fucking lay down some massive hours with this game. So we get to the front, the guy takes the game from me, he looks at it, and he looks at my mom, and I knew something was immediately wrong. And what the fuck did this guy say? He's like, excuse me, ma'am, are you aware that this game is rated M and it does have a lot of blood and gore and some nudity? I couldn't believe what the fuck I was hearing. I was just like, dude, like you're fucking, like you're like 20 years old. I'm like 15 at the time, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, bro, we're like not that far apart. Why would you do this to me? Obviously, there's probably some parents go in and be like, what did you sell my son? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, you know, but still, man, if he seen my mom was chill and shit, like, why not, like, I don't know, be chill yourself? My mom was super cool about it too, yo. Like, she just looked at the guy, she looked at me, and she looked back at him and was like, you know what, that's fine. And I was just like, yes, like, take that, fucker. You know what I mean? I was super excited, and I was just like, this game just cemented a great story, plus, like, in history of one of the greatest fucking games in my life. So that was my collection, folks, and the total comes out to $96.23. What could I have gotten for like the next, I don't know, $4 or $3 Probably nothing. Maybe some fucking bullshit ass like Wheel of Fortune game or something, but nobody gives a shit about those. But yep, $96.23. Fantastic. I think this is a great collection to have. It has a little bit of everything, which is the most important part, because you don't want to just be stuck with one genre. It kind of makes gaming boring when you just stick to one, right? Like, you like to jump around, try different things, do different types of moves. Nah, but I want to thank y'all very much for coming through and kicking it with your boy once again. Let me know what you guys think at the bottom. What would your collection look like? Let's talk about this, man, all right? Like, what is your favorite PS2 game? Anything PS2, let's talk about it. So thank y'all very much for checking out the video. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to share it around. I'd very, very, very much appreciate it. So until next time, fam, I'll catch you on the next one, all right? Deuce.